This video contains a truth that has changed the lives of many people. If you are having health problems and have ever felt stuck, please subscribe to the channel and leave a comment in the comment section so we can share useful knowledge together. Have you ever stared at a handful of pills in the morning and thought, did I already take these? Or was that yesterday? Or maybe you've found yourself squinting at a label, wondering, is this the one I'm supposed to take before or after lunch? You're not alone. If you're over 60, juggling medications can feel like a part-time job. Some are tiny, some are chalky, some taste strange, and they all come with their own little rules. Take this one on an empty stomach, that one with food. Skip this one on Tuesdays. Double this one every other week. It's no wonder so many people start to feel overwhelmed or even make mistakes. That could affect their health. But here's the good news. It doesn't have to be this hard. With a few simple strategies, managing your medications can become a smooth, stress-free part of your daily routine. Imagine waking up, taking exactly what you need on time, every time, and moving on with your day with peace of mind. In this video, we're going to walk through 6 smart, life-easing strategies that will help you stay on top of your medications without the confusion, the second-guessing, or the stress. These are tips I've shared with patients for decades, and I've seen firsthand how much difference they can make. If you're watching this and thinking, that's me, I want to hear from you. What kind of medication issues are you facing? Trouble remembering? Side effects? Too many pills? Drop a comment below, let me know what's going on. I read them, and I'll do my best to offer some guidance or support. Alright, let's talk about how we take the pressure off and put the control back in your hands. Let's start with the first strategy, and it's a game changer. Create a daily medication routine. I know what you're thinking. I already have a routine. But here's the thing, what many people don't realize is that even the most consistent person can lose track without a clear anchor. Let me explain. If you attach your medication times to habits you already do automatically, like brushing your teeth, making coffee, or watching the morning news, it becomes part of your body's rhythm. The key is consistency. You want to train your brain to expect those pills the same way it expects your slippers by the bed, or the sound of your favorite radio station in the morning. I had a patient, Marie, 76, sharp as a tack, but she kept missing her blood pressure medication because her mornings were unpredictable. One day she'd wake up at 6, the next day 9, depending on how well she slept. So we tied her pill time to her first glass of water, not the clock. That simple shift changed everything. She went from missing doses to not even thinking about it. It just happened. Find your anchor. Something that happens no matter what time you wake up or what kind of day you're having. Maybe it's feeding the cat. Maybe it's your morning prayer. Once it's linked, it becomes automatic. Now let's talk about strategy number 2. Use a pill organizer that actually works for you. And I don't mean the one you got at the pharmacy 10 years ago that has tiny letters rubbed off and a Monday section that pops open every time you look at it wrong. Today's pill organizers come in all shapes and sizes. Some have big, easy-to-read labels. Some cover for doses per day: morning, noon, evening, and bedtime. There are even organizers with alarms built in, so they beep gently when it's time to take your meds. A little reminder that doesn't nag but nudges. And if you travel or spend time at your grandkids' house, there are portable cases that hold a week's worth in slim little compartments. You can tuck in your purse or coat pocket. The point is, the organizer should fit your life, not the other way around. A patient of mine, George, 82, used to carry his meds around in sandwich bags, literally. Ziploc bags labeled with a Sharpie. You can imagine the chaos. So I sat down with him, and we looked at some better options. He found a pill organizer with snap lids and a color-coded chart that matched his daily schedule. It wasn't fancy, but it worked. After that, no more missed doses, and no more guessing. This isn't just about avoiding mistakes. It's about giving you a sense of order and control. And that feeling matters. Let's ease into the third strategy, and this one is crucial. Keep an updated medication list and share it. Now, I know some folks don't love paperwork or keeping track of things, but I can't tell you how many times I've seen someone come into the clinic or there and say, I take a little white pill for my heart and a pink one for something else, and that's all they remember. That can be dangerous. What I recommend is simple. Write down the name of every medication you take: prescriptions, over-the-counters, supplements, everything. Include the dose, how often you take it, and why you take it. Keep a copy in your wallet, in your kitchen drawer, maybe even in your phone if you use one. And most importantly, share it with your doctor, your pharmacist, your kids, your caregiver, anyone who helps look after you. It's a safety net. If something ever goes wrong, they'll know exactly what's in your system. No guessing, no scrambling. One of my longtime patients, Della, made her list on a piece of notebook paper and had it laminated at the copy store. She carried it in her purse like it was gold. And you know what? It was. It helped us spot a dangerous drug interaction before it caused real harm. That simple list probably saved her from a hospital stay. All right, now that we've taken those first 3 big steps toward clarity and confidence with your medications, we've already reduced a huge amount of risk and stress. But we're not done yet. There are still more smart strategies that can make your life easier, safer, and more independent when it comes to medications. Let's keep going. Now that we've talked about organizing your medications and setting consistent routines, let's look at something that often gets overlooked but can make or break your ability to manage medications easily. It's communication. I want you to think about the last time you sat in your doctor's office. Maybe they were rushing, typing into a computer, and rattling off medication changes so fast your head spun. You nodded because you didn't want to seem confused, but afterward, you were left holding a prescription bottle, thinking, what was this even for again? You're not alone. This happens to so many of my patients, and it's not your fault. So here's the truth. You have every right to understand exactly what you're taking, why you're taking it, and how it fits into your life. Start by building a habit of asking questions. Even if it feels like you're being a bother, trust me, you're not. Ask what the medication is for. Ask how long you'll need to take it. Ask if there are side effects you should look out for. And ask if it interacts with anything you're already taking, even over-the-counter stuff or supplements. You'd be surprised how many seniors take herbal remedies or vitamins that actually can mess with prescriptions. Here's something simple you can do next time. Bring a notepad, or better yet, bring a loved one. A second pair of ears can catch things you might miss, and they can help remind you of what the doctor said later. I've had patients start doing this, and they come back feeling more confident, more in control. That's the goal. And don't stop at your doctor. Your local pharmacist is one of your best allies. They're trained to understand drug interactions and help simplify complex medication regimens. If you're ever unsure, pick up the phone or stop by. It's their job to help, and they're usually more than happy to answer your questions. Now, let's shift gears a bit, because managing medications isn't just about the pills. It's also about the person taking them. That's where your lifestyle and body come into the picture. Have you ever felt dizzy when you stand up to fast? Or maybe you've had an upset stomach that just won't go away, and you're not sure if it's something you ate or the new pill you started last week. Here's what I want you to remember. Your body changes with age. Your kidneys, your liver, even your stomach, they don't work quite the same way they did when you were 30. And that's okay. But it means that medications can affect you differently than they used to. That's why paying attention to how your body responds is so important. If something doesn't feel right, tell someone. Don't just assume it's part of getting older. It might be something that can be adjusted. Sometimes, a simple change in dosage or timing can eliminate side effects entirely. A patient of mine, let's call her Carol, was taking a blood pressure medication. That made her feel foggy and weak every morning. She thought it was just aging catching up to her. But after talking it over, we realized she was taking it on an empty stomach. First thing after waking up, we adjusted her schedule so she could take it after breakfast, and guess what? No more fog, no more weakness. Just a small tweak that made a huge difference. That's the power of listening to your body. It's always giving you clues, you just have to slow down and notice them. Alright, now let's talk about something that can be tricky, especially when you're taking multiple medications, and that's remembering what to take and when. Now, I know we've touched on pill organizers and setting routines, but this goes a bit deeper. Because even with all the tools in the world, we're still human. We forget. We get distracted. Life gets in the way. So the next smart strategy is to use reminders that actually work for you. And no, it doesn't have to be fancy. If you're comfortable with technology, you can use a smartphone or a tablet. There are apps designed just for this purpose, and they'll send you friendly reminders right when it's time to take your dose. Some even let your family know if you've missed one. But if tech isn't your thing, that's perfectly fine. You can use sticky notes, kitchen timers, even simple alarms on a digital clock. One of my patients keeps a small bell on her kitchen table and rings it every time. She takes her morning pills just like a little celebration. It may sound funny, but it works for her. And that's the key. Find something you will stick to. What really matters is building a rhythm that you can trust. Because once it becomes second nature, it won't feel like a chore anymore. It'll feel like part of who you are, like brushing your teeth or tying your shoes. It just becomes something you do. Now, I want to pause here for a moment and say something important. If you've ever forgotten a dose, or taken the wrong pill, or gotten confused, please don't beat yourself up. It happens, and it doesn't make you careless or incapable. It makes you human. The fact that you're watching this and trying to learn says a whole lot about your commitment to taking care of yourself, and that's something to be proud of. All right, take a deep breath, because you've already come this far. You're learning, you're growing, and you're doing something positive for your health. And now, as we keep building on these strategies, let's take a closer look at how to make your medications work better with your lifestyle, not against it. So, how do we make medications work with your lifestyle instead of becoming a burden? Let me tell you about something I see all the time. A patient gets prescribed a new medication and suddenly, their routine starts revolving around the pill, not the other way around. They're skipping breakfast because it has to be taken on an empty stomach. Or they're canceling a walk with friends because they're afraid they'll miss their dose. That's not how it should be. Your medications are there to support your life, not the other way around. And with a little flexibility and planning, that's exactly what they'll do. One of the smartest strategies you can use is to sync your medications with your daily activities. What does that look like? Well, think about what you already do consistently. Maybe it's brushing your teeth, having your morning cup of coffee, feeding the dog, watching the 6 o'clock news. These are natural anchors in your day. Attaching your medications to these habits makes remembering them much easier. So instead of thinking, I have to take my pill at 8 a.m., it becomes, I take my pill right after I brush my teeth. You're not adding a new task, you're just pairing it with something you're already doing. It's a simple psychological trick, but it's powerful. Now let's talk about something a little more emotional. It's not just about schedules and strategies, it's about how managing medications can feel. Because if we're being honest, for many people, it doesn't feel empowering. It feels overwhelming, like a constant reminder that you're getting older, or that your body doesn't work the way it used to. And if you've ever felt that, I want you to know that feeling is valid. But here's the truth I want you to hold on to. Managing your medications isn't a sign of weakness. It's a sign of strength. It means you're showing up for your health. You're being proactive. You're taking control of your future. It's okay to feel tired sometimes. It's okay to get frustrated. But don't let that stop you from moving forward. Because every pill you take correctly, every dose you track, every question you ask, that's a victory. A quiet, powerful victory that adds up over time. Now let's touch on something that affects so many people, but hardly anyone talks about: cost. Medication costs can sneak up on you, especially if you're on a fixed income or juggling multiple prescriptions. Maybe you've had to choose between picking up a refill and buying groceries. Maybe you've cut pills in half just to stretch them. If you have, you're not alone. But here's the thing, there are options, and you deserve to know about them. First, talk to your doctor. Don't be afraid to say, "This is too expensive, do I have other options?" Most medications have generic versions that are just as effective but cost a fraction of the price. And sometimes, there are combination pills that can replace 2 or 3 separate ones, making it easier to manage and more affordable. Next, ask your pharmacist if they know of any manufacturer discount programs or coupons. There are also non-profit organizations and apps that help seniors get medications at a lower price. It's worth a few minutes of conversation that could save you hundreds of dollars a year. And one more thing, never skip a medication just to make it last longer. It might seem harmless, but it can lead to serious health consequences. You're not being smart by rationing, you're being put at risk. Always ask for help before making changes. I had a gentleman in his 70s, John, who came in for a checkup, and his blood pressure had been out of control for months. Turns out, he was skipping every other day on his medication because he didn't want to burden his family with the cost. Once we talked about it, we found an alternative that was covered by his plan, and within a month, his numbers were back on track. All it took was a conversation. So please don't carry that burden silently. You are not alone in this. Now, before we wrap up, I want to bring all of this back to one simple idea, one I've seen change people's lives over and over again. Empowerment. When you feel confident in managing your medications, something inside you shifts. You stop feeling like life is something that's happening to you and start feeling like you're steering the ship again. That's the real goal, not just remembering pills, but reclaiming your independence. So whether you're managing 2 medications or 12, remember this: you're doing something powerful. Every step you take to understand your health, to ask questions, to organize, to track, to advocate for yourself, that all adds up to a better, safer, and more fulfilling life. You don't have to do it all at once. Just start somewhere. Start with one habit, one conversation, one small change. And as always, I'd love for you to share your thoughts down in the comments. Are you dealing with side effects? Struggling to remember your evening dose? Having a hard time organizing multiple prescriptions? Let me know. I read the comments and I respond, because no one should have to figure this out alone. And if this video helped you, or you know someone who could use a little guidance, go ahead and give it a like. Hit that subscribe button so you don't miss more content like this. We're building a little community here, and it's one where your voice matters. Here's to you taking control, staying strong, and living well, one smart step at a time. There's something truly beautiful about this chapter of life. It's not just about slowing down, it's about knowing what truly matters. And one of the most powerful things you can do for yourself is to take charge of your health, starting with how you manage your medications. Now, we've already talked about organizing your pills, syncing them with your daily routine, understanding your prescriptions, and making them work with, not against, your life. But there's still one more strategy that might just be the missing piece. For many of you watching right now, it's this: bring someone into your circle. I can't tell you how many times I've sat across from a patient who's trying to do it all alone. They're juggling blood pressure pills, cholesterol meds, arthritis treatments, and they're scared to ask for help. Sometimes it's pride. Sometimes it's not wanting to feel like a burden. And sometimes it's just not knowing who to ask. But here's the truth: managing your medications doesn't have to be a solo journey. In fact, it shouldn't be. Whether it's a spouse, a grown child, a neighbor, or even your pharmacist or primary care doctor, having someone you can check in with makes a world of difference. It's not about losing independence, it's about gaining confidence, about knowing someone's got your back. Let's say you're confused about a new medication, or you've started feeling dizzy after dinner. Maybe you're not sure if it's a side effect or something more serious. Having someone to talk to, a second set of eyes and ears, can help catch things early and keep you safe. One of my patients, Grace, started using a simple method that changed everything. She didn't want to bother her daughter all the time, so she made a habit of sending her a weekly medication update, just a quick text with how she's feeling, anything new, and whether she's had any trouble taking her meds. It takes less than 5 minutes, but that tiny habit helped them catch a dosing error that could have been dangerous. That's the power of connection. So if you're watching this and you're managing your medications completely on your own, I want to gently challenge you: reach out to someone this week. Even if it's just to say, "Hey, would you mind helping me double check my pills once a month?" You'd be surprised how many people will say yes. And if you're someone who's supporting a loved one, first of all, thank you. Your care and your attention are more important than you know. But don't forget to check in, not just on the what, but on the how. Ask them how they feel about their medication routine. Ask if anything has changed. Sometimes, a quiet concern can be hiding in plain sight. Now, before we wrap up, I want to leave you with something I've learned after 3 decades of caring for people just like you. Managing medications isn't just about pills. It's about feeling safe in your own body. It's about keeping your mind sharp, your energy up, your independence strong. It's about living fully, not just surviving. And here's what I want you to take away from all this. You are capable. No matter how many prescriptions you take or how complicated things may seem, you have what it takes to do this. Maybe you've had some bumps in the road, missed doses, confusing labels, frustrating side effects. That's okay. That's part of the process. What matters is that you keep moving forward. Every time you take your medication on time, you're protecting your heart. Every time you double-check a label, you're caring for your mind. Every time you ask a question or reach out for support, you're fighting for your future. That's something to be proud of. So if no one's told you today you're doing a good job, really, and if this video helped even a little, I'd love to hear about it in the comments. What's been your biggest challenge? Do you have a trick or system that's worked for you? Let's share that wisdom. Someone out there could really use it. And hey, if you haven't already, go ahead and give this video a like and hit that subscribe button. This channel is all about practical, uplifting advice for people over 60 who want to stay strong, stay sharp, and stay in control. And we'd love to have you as part of this growing community. Most of all, keep showing up for yourself. Keep choosing wellness. Keep believing that every step you take, no matter how small, makes a difference. Here's to clear minds, strong bodies, and a future filled with confidence and peace of mind. You've got this.